Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing very well. How are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. And it's been I think since late last year is when I came by
Yeah.
for the visit. And a lot's happened since then.
Yes, an enormous amount has happened since then. The organization's been in quite a bit of flux, and with the building kind of being the capstone of all of that, it's been a really challenging spring, late winter, early spring.
We are here on site today at 404 Washington Street in Brighton, walking through our building that is currently closed to the public. In late January and early February, there were some pretty severe winter storms that caused ice dams to form on the building, and those ice dams resulted in significant water incursion and flooding in 7 areas of the building. Adjacent to this is the restroom, and that is a cornerstone of being a publicly accessible building. The clients to the food pantry, the volunteers at the food pantry, need to have access to a working restroom, and that is one of the key fixtures of our reopening plan. As you see around us, we are torn down to the studs. We've done the demolition work to get rid of the water damaged materials. We are also rebuilding the electrical work and soon hope to restart the drywall and other electrical finishing work so that we can open to the public again.
I just wanted to ask a few questions about that. Just sort of recapping, I know you talked about this in the video a little bit, which we'll include. Um, but what was the original damage
Hmm.
caused by, like the weather event? You mentioned some flooding.
Yeah, yeah. So, beginning on Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, back toward the end of January, there was that massive blizzard that swept really across the entire country, and that deposited probably 20 inches of snow on the roof, and it was also fairly dense snow. Not wet, but kind of just very, very dry, but also just the ice crystals were really, really tiny. And that sat on the roof, and in those places where the roof is flat or there's a low pitch to the roof, it accumulated in a collection of corners, and started a phenomenon called ice dams. Are you familiar with what that is?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. So when you have roof snow sitting on a roof, and the building, we're heating the building, right? And in order to keep the environment appropriate for people being inside. So there's hot air underneath the ceiling, underneath the roof, and then there's snow here. And so that causes that radiant heat causes the snow nearest the roof to melt. And then it kind of works its way to the edge, or finds its path of least resistance, which is usually outward, and then goes down the gutters. Well, because of the particular cycle of heating when the sun is up, and then cooling when the sun is down, these little berms or ice dams, little ridges of ice, form at the edges of the building, and then when the water or when the snow melts from the radiant heat of the building, it has nowhere to go. The little edge of ice dams it up, and so it begins to infiltrate the roof by whatever means it can. It'll go between shingles. It'll just try to find its way down, which is ultimately what water wants to do. And so it caused significant infiltration of water into the edges of the building, and it like in those parts of the building where we have a flatter or low pitched roof. And so that water showed up as a couple of drops one day in the reception area, and we thought, oh, let's put some buckets out and take some ceiling tiles down, and then it just didn't stop, and the water just kept coming and coming and coming. And so it caused massive damage in 7 areas of the building. completely saturating ceilings and walls in those places. So we our first course of action was to get well, to shut everything down. And then we had to get roofers to come in who specialized in removing these ice dams. So, as it continued to go, we ended up with these giant walls of ice kind of capping around the building. So we had to pay roofers who specialize in this to come in and break up the ice dams without doing further damage to the roof or to the gutters. Once we removed that, we had to begin demolishing all of the areas of the interior of the building that had been affected. So, ripping out the drywall, ripping out the insulation, ripping out the ceiling in all of those affected areas. Once all of that was clear and the roof was clear, we had to wait for it to warm up enough for the roofers to come and put a new roof on those affected sections of the building. And at this point, we've replaced about 40% of the roof. All those parts of the building where there's a high pitch, those were fine. We can replace that in a couple of years as part of a regular maintenance plan. But all of those places where the roof was flat or kind of a lower pitch, we needed to replace. So we had to do that. Once we had a new stable roof on, and we brought in some demolition specialists to help dry out all of the interior and to treat it so that there would be no residual mold or effects of these things. That work was done. And then we've had to rip out all of the old electrical work that was in those areas of the building and rebuild that electrical infrastructure in those affected areas. That work has been done. We've put new insulation and drywall up, and right now we're in the process of finishing off the drywall and then refinishing the floors in certain areas, reinstalling a bathroom and kitchenette. And so we are really making amazing progress in all of this, but it's an enormous amount of work.
Yeah, I would imagine. I would imagine so. But it's coming along, and there's mentioned there was like a funding push as well to help to support that effort. How
Yeah.
is that coming along?
Yeah, it's coming well. So the all of the damage and remediation that we've needed to do uh, is going to be in the vicinity of $120,000. We might actually be inching up as things keep
Uh,
moving on. In our insurance company has covered about $70,000 of that, leaving us with a $50,000 bill. And so we are working to come working to make up that gap with our fundraising efforts right now. The community has been very, very responsive, and people are donating generously. And I am spending my days going around talking to people about this work and inviting them to be a part of our reopening campaign.
yeah, are you going to be doing any events for that? I mean, definitely once you get the thrift shop up and running again, and other things, once you add the physical location, it'll be easier to have those kinds of things.
Absolutely. So we are thinking about doing a reopening in kind of two stages. One where we can just get people in the building again so that we can start distributing food again, because that's our highest value. We just want to start serving the community again. But as soon as we get our head around those food pantry operations, then we can think about an event to really celebrate the reopening and to laud the efforts of our staff who've been great in all of this, and our volunteers who have been so supportive in this time. It's broken our hearts to have to stop inviting people into the building and to serve in the same way that we have been. But we've been working on creative ways to have soft opening or to try to resume our operations in some fashion. And we're so grateful for staff, particularly Faye, for Grace, and Mars, who have made it possible for us to have distributions of food on Wednesdays and Fridays using food from our partners' spoonfuls.
Yeah,
And
that's nice.
those are located outdoors.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna ask if there were any efforts that you were keeping up in the meantime to try and distribute food, but yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, I guess other like, physical locations that you could have fundraising events as
Mm,
well. I know I think there's a school near the pantry that
mhm.
it's like if you go towards the hospital and hang a left, it's by there. But that was where I voted, so maybe like there's
Oh,
a city
interesting.
connection there
Oh, I
that
appreciate that.
building has use, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I appreciate that that suggestion. I'll look into that. So we were able to partner with the Presentation School Community Center and to do a volunteer appreciation night. And I'm so deeply appreciative for Claudia Drummy, the executive director there, for opening the space to us and allowing us to have a gathering of our volunteers. As difficult as it is for us who lead the food pantry, it's also difficult for the volunteers who give of their time week in and week out and are really an essential part of the community. Our work, one of our taglines is "We are neighbors, mobilizing neighbors to feed neighbors," and that neighbor aspect of it is just really, really important. We haven't been able to see our neighbors in the way that we're accustomed to, and there's grief in that. We miss being present for folks.
Yeah, I can imagine you miss having that regular connection.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was well, I guess what are some of the things that you've heard from people? Have you gotten any nice messages of support during the time, or like anyone
Yes,
reached out?
absolutely. So many messages of affirmation. In addition to the work that the distributions that we do on Wednesdays and Fridays right now, we also have a really, really small food rescue operation where we send out a car to go pick up food and bring it and to stock it into the refrigerator on Tuesday mornings, and the folks kind of know about when that's going to happen, and so there's just I did it this past week, and it was just really beautiful to walk or to drive up right next to the fridge to start unloading, and then have people immediately come out, help me unload, get stuff into the fridge, and then able to take some things home for themselves. It just felt so good to be a part of the community again, and to hear their words of appreciation. We know it's not perfect right now, and well, I mean, food pantry work is never perfect. It's an imperfect solution to a terrible broken system, but the to see the appreciation for our work in the community is really important.
How do you do with people who are apprehensive just about joining a event like the ones that you have, and might be a little sort of unsure about it for whatever reason?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think the only way that we can deal with that, the only way we have ever really been able to deal with that is through our model of hospitality and trying to develop a reputation as a safe place. There's little you can do to tell people and convince people that you're a safe place other than to work to be a safe place and let people hear about it elsewise, through other channels. The self-advertising as a safe haven is quite frankly cheap. You need to prove it to the community. You need to prove it to those who already trust you, and then let that trust ring outward. And that's true in all types of relational social services. You can say what things are, but until you have uh, the witnesses of those who have been involved. Talk is cheap.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's very true. And I appreciate the advice. We're trying to build up our operation here, doing what
Mm,
events we can. So we're just, looking for any help along the way, and
yeah.
definitely, we definitely want to be that place and find ways for people to speak up that they might not normally.
Yeah, it's deeply relational work, and it's not quick work. It's built up slowly over time. The food pantry is in a really um, uh, good position in terms of it's been operating for over 50 years, and folks generations have come and gone seeing this as an important institution. So we take that reputation very, very seriously.
Yeah, that's definitely something to appreciate and uphold. Well, I think that's pretty much all of the questions that I had, and like I said, I definitely would love to, hear more about when you have an on location events again.
Yeah.
And yeah, whenever I could stop
So
by.
as soon as I have clarity about that, I will let you know, and I want you to sing it from the mountaintop, and get it out there as widely as possible. But those are kind of two big milestones that we're working on now.
Yeah, well, I'm sure everybody wants to have the place back up and running as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's hard. It's our dream.
Yep. And yeah, I'll be excited to check it out and show some support.
Thank you.
For sure. All right, well, I think that yeah, that should be everything. I want to thank you again, Matt, for joining. And then yeah, I'll probably do that video. I'll add it in post. But yeah,
Excellent.
thanks again.
I wanted to mention uh, so there's the work of this really interesting group called the Boston Food Access Council. Don't know if you've heard of them or not. It's a fairly recent grassroots level effort to bring together a bunch of food justice organizations to advocate for a state and federal policy change, city, state, and federal policy change in the area. And I spoke at one of their events last night in Dorchester, and there's some real action here. They're right now they're pushing uh, they're pushing the state government to set aside funding for staffing for the Department of Transitional Assistance, DTA, which is the state office that helps people enroll in SNAP benefits and a collection of other benefits. And the DTA office statewide is down about 200 employees, and it's really causing some compromises in the way people can access SNAP. I just can't say enough good about the work of the Boston Food Access Council. And if you are interested in that kind of question and its consequences, kind of on the ground in Allston-Brighton and in Boston more generally, let me know, and I'd be very happy to connect you with their executive director.
Yeah, we are interested in all kinds of questions with Star Boston. 100% would want to follow up on that. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, definitely. We'll
great.
we'll do
Send me
some
a note,
research
and
on that.
I can do that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Great. I really appreciate the work that you're doing and the hard work it takes to cover the local beat.
Yeah, I'm trying to build it up. I have a writer I'm working with, and we're hoping
Excellent.
to bring on another editor soon because there's two other um, cities that have video stories going right now that I edit for the network. So
Hmm.
I think it'll come together as we keep finding people, and yeah, we'll keep building consistency. So
Thanks so much. It's
great.
great.
Yeah, thank you very much as well.